Ethan wakes up every morning at exactly 6 a.m. Not because he's driven or inspired, but because his alarm refuses to shut up. It keeps screaming until he finally opens his eyes. He lies there, staring at the ceiling, feeling exhausted before the day has even started. His body feels heavy, his mind already racing, already behind. His phone buzzes beside him, lighting up the dark room. Notifications, emails, calendar alerts, bills due, tasks unfinished, messages he hasn't replied to. Each vibration feels like another reminder of everything waiting for him and everything he's afraid he won't get done. The weight of the day presses down on him before he even sits up. In that quiet moment, before his feet touch the cold floor, before the world officially demands something from him, a familiar voice creeps into his mind. Soft, tempting, almost comforting. Just 5 more minutes. It's the same voice that shows up every morning, the voice that promises rest but delivers regret. The voice that tells him he'll catch up later, that today can start a little slower, that nothing will fall apart if he waits just a bit longer. Ethan knows that voice well. He's listened to it for years. And for a few seconds, he considers it. He closes his eyes. He lets the silence stretch. But deep down, he knows the truth. Those 5 minutes never stay 5 minutes. They turn into rushed mornings, missed chances, and another day that feels like it slipped through his fingers. Still lying there, caught between who he is and who he wants to become, Ethan takes a breath. The day hasn't started yet, but the battle already has. That voice has been riding with Ethan for years. It's always there, quiet when things are easy, loud when things get hard. It's the same voice that talks him out of early workouts, tells him he'll start next Monday, and convinces him that one more scroll won't hurt. It's the voice that chooses comfort over growth, distractions over discipline, right now over long term. From the outside, Ethan looks like he's doing just fine. He's got a job, he pays his bills on time, he shows up, he laughs at the right moments. When people ask how he's doing, he says, "I'm good," and keeps it moving. No red flags, no drama, just another guy handling life. But inside, it's a different story. Inside, there's this constant pressure, like a weight sitting on his chest that never really goes away. A quiet frustration he can't shake. It feels like he's living on low battery, like he's barely tapping into what he knows he's capable of. And that's the part that hurts the most. He knows he's meant for more. He knows he's playing small. He knows he's settling. He knows he's letting days slide by when they should be building something bigger. Every night, when things slow down and the noise fades, that truth hits him hard. Not because life is terrible, but because it could be so much better. And that realization, that's exhausting. Because it's not ignorance holding him back, it's awareness. He's not lost, he's just stuck between who he is right now and the version of himself he knows he could become. And that gap messes with him every single day. Every day feels like the same loop on repeat, like his life is stuck on autoplay. Wake up tired, hit snooze, rush out the door, sit in traffic staring at brake lights, wondering how this became normal. Clock in, answer emails that don't matter, sit through meetings that go nowhere, watch the hours crawl by while his energy slowly drains. By the time he gets home, he's cooked, mentally wiped, physically done. He drops his keys, kicks off his shoes, and tells himself he earned a break. Just a little downtime, just one episode, just a few minutes on his phone. And every night, he makes the same promise. Tomorrow's gonna be different. Tomorrow, he'll wake up early. Tomorrow, he'll work out. Tomorrow, he'll focus. Tomorrow, he'll stop wasting time and finally get serious about his life. It sounds real in the moment. It feels convincing. But tomorrow always shows up carrying the same habits, the same excuses, the same comfort zones, the same shortcuts. That voice is still there, ready with a reason why today isn't the day. And underneath it all is that quiet disappointment, the kind nobody sees. Not loud, not dramatic, just heavy. The feeling that he's letting himself down over and over again, one ordinary day at a time. Nothing's falling apart, but nothing's moving forward either. And that's the part that slowly wears him out, being stuck in a life that looks fine from the outside, but feels empty on the inside. And here's the truth most people don't want to admit. Ethan isn't lazy. He's not broken. He's not weak. He gets up every day. He shows up. He handles responsibilities. He does what needs to be done just to survive. Lazy people don't do that. The real problem is deeper. Ethan is mentally undisciplined. His mind runs the show, and he lets it. Every impulse gets a vote. Every excuse sounds reasonable. Every moment of discomfort feels like a stop sign. If it feels hard, his brain looks for the quickest way out. If it feels boring, his phone becomes the escape. If it feels uncomfortable, he avoids it. And that's how potential gets wasted, not all at once, but in tiny decisions no one ever sees. Mental undiscipline doesn't look dramatic. It looks normal. It looks like scrolling instead of stretching, skipping workouts because today was rough, saying you'll start tomorrow because today feels inconvenient. It's choosing comfort over growth again and again until comfort becomes a cage. Ethan doesn't lack motivation. He lacks control. Control over his thoughts, control over his reactions, control over the voice that keeps negotiating his future away. And once you understand that, everything changes. Because discipline isn't about being tough, it's about being in charge. And until Ethan takes back control of his mind, his life will keep running on the same old loop.
Discipline isn't about waking up at 5 a.m. or grinding yourself into the ground. It's not about posting hustle quotes or acting busy all day. Real discipline is way quieter than that. It's about controlling the conversation in your head when nobody's watching. No cameras, no applause. Just you, your thoughts, and the choice in front of you. And that's where Ethan loses the battle every single day. Not because he wants to fail, not because he doesn't care, but because he never trained his mind to push back. The moment his brain says, "Nah, do it later," he listens. When his mind says, "You're tired," he believes it. When it says, "You deserve a break," he folds. His thoughts run the show, and he lets them. Every excuse sounds logical. Every delay feels justified. Every shortcut feels earned. And before he knows it, another day is gone, another chance wasted, another promise broken. That's the real enemy. Not the alarm clock, not the job, not the schedule. It's the lack of mental control. Because the truth is, if you don't train your mind, it'll default to comfort. And comfort doesn't build anything. It just keeps you stuck exactly where you are. Ethan doesn't need more motivation. He needs mental discipline. He needs to stop negotiating with the voice in his head and start leading it. Because the moment you take control of your thoughts, you take control of your life. One night, after yet another wasted evening, Ethan sits there in the dark, lit up only by the glow of his computer screen. The room is quiet. No noise, no distractions left to hide behind. Just him and the reflection staring back at him. And for a second, he doesn't recognize the guy looking back. His eyes look tired, but not the kind of tired that comes from hard work. It's the tired that comes from regret, from knowing you could have done more and didn't, from watching time slip away while you stayed comfortable. That reflection hits different. This isn't someone who's been beaten by life. This is someone who's been avoiding it. And for the first time, Ethan doesn't reach for his phone. He doesn't distract himself. He doesn't make excuses. He just sits there and lets the truth land. Then a question crosses his mind, one that cuts deeper than any failure ever has, deeper than missed goals, deeper than wasted years. What if my life isn't actually hard, What if my mind is just undisciplined? That thought shakes him, because if life isn't the problem, then the responsibility is his, and that's scary, but it's also powerful. In that moment, something shifts. Not a big breakthrough, not some movie-style transformation, just clarity. And clarity is dangerous, because once you see the truth, you can't unsee it. That question hits him like a punch to the chest. It knocks the air out of him, not because it's harsh, but because it's true. And in that moment, Ethan realizes something powerful, something he's been avoiding for years. His biggest enemy was never a lack of opportunity. It wasn't talent, it wasn't bad luck or the system being against him. It was his lack of control over his own thoughts. Life didn't beat him, his mind did. Every time he chose comfort over effort, every time he talked himself out of showing up, every time he let excuses sound smarter than discipline, that's what held him back. And right there, in that quiet, uncomfortable moment, everything starts to shift. Not on the outside, not yet, but on the inside, where it actually matters. Because awareness changes the game. Awareness is the first rep of discipline, the first real step forward. The moment you stop blaming the world and start taking ownership. And Ethan finally sees it. The real battle was never in the gym. It wasn't at work. It wasn't in public where everyone's watching. The real battle happens alone, in silence, in the mind. And once you learn to win there, everything else starts to fall into place.
Ethan doesn't wake up the next day suddenly motivated. There's no fire soundtrack playing in his head, no dramatic shift, no overnight glow-up, nothing like the movies. He still feels tired. The alarm still annoys him. His bed still feels comfortable. There's no burst of confidence, no wave of energy, no magical reset button. But something does change, and it's smaller, quieter, and way more powerful. For the first time, he notices the voice. When his mind says hit snooze, he hears it. When it says you can skip today, he recognizes it. When it starts negotiating, just this once, he catches it in the act. And that awareness, that's new. He doesn't win every battle. He doesn't suddenly become disciplined, but he stops moving on autopilot. He pauses. He questions the excuse. He pushes back just a little. And that's how real change starts. Not with hype, not with motivation, but with control. It's messy, it's uncomfortable, it's slow. But for the first time, Ethan isn't asleep at the wheel. He's present, he's conscious, he's choosing one small decision at a time. No big transformation, just the beginning of one. When his alarm goes off, the same voice shows up right on cue. Tells him to stay in bed, says he can start tomorrow, says this one decision won't matter. And for the first time, Ethan answers it. Not with hype, not with emotion, not with anger, with discipline. He doesn't argue, he doesn't negotiate, he just gets up anyway. That morning workout is brutal. Everything in his body fights back. His muscles feel stiff, his lungs burn, his mind complains the entire time, looking for any excuse to quit early. Every rep feels heavier than it should. Every second drags. Nothing about it feels good. But somewhere in the middle of the struggle, something shifts. Ethan finally gets it. Discipline isn't about feeling motivated. It isn't about confidence. It isn't about enjoying the process. Discipline is about doing what needs to be done, especially when it feels uncomfortable, especially when your mind is screaming for the easy way out. And that workout doesn't change his life, but it changes something more important. It proves to him that he's in control. And that's where the real transformation begins. Days turn into weeks. Nothing flashy, no big announcements, just showing up over and over again. And somewhere in that process, Ethan starts seeing patterns he ignored his whole life. Every time he runs from discomfort, his world shrinks. His standards drop. His confidence takes a hit. Life feels smaller, tighter, like he's boxed himself in without even realizing it. But every time he leans into the hard stuff, something changes. Every uncomfortable rep, every tough conversation, every moment he doesn't quit, his confidence grows, quietly, steadily. Not because life gets easier, but because he's getting stronger. Discipline stops feeling like punishment. It's no longer something he forces himself to do. It starts to feel normal, natural, like breathing, like this is just who he is now. It's not about strict rules or perfect routines anymore. It's about identity. He's not acting disciplined, he's becoming disciplined. And once that switch flips, everything else starts to follow. He stops asking himself, "Do I feel like it today?" Because he finally realizes that feelings change every 5 minutes. Instead, he starts asking a different question, one that actually matters. Who do I want to become if I keep choosing this? That question hits different. It forces him to think long-term instead of moment to moment. It pulls him out of comfort and into ownership. Suddenly, the decision isn't about today's mood. It's about tomorrow's version of himself. Every choice becomes a vote. Every rep, every early morning, every time he doesn't quit, it's a vote for the man he's becoming. And once he sees that, discipline stops feeling heavy. It feels purposeful. Like every small decision is shaping something bigger. He's no longer chasing motivation. He's building identity. And identity doesn't care how you feel. It cares what you do. At work, Ethan stops waiting around for motivation to magically show up. He doesn't need to feel ready anymore. He prepares. He locks in. He stays present instead of mentally checking out. He shows up sharper, more focused, less distracted. He handles tasks instead of avoiding them. He finishes what he starts. Not because the job suddenly gets easier, but because he's different now. His performance starts to level up. People notice. Coworkers trust him more. Managers see the consistency. Opportunities start opening up. Nothing flashy, just steady respect earned over time. But the real win isn't what other people see. It's what he feels. He looks at his work and knows he earned it. No shortcuts, no excuses, just effort. And for the first time in a long time, he feels proud of how he's showing up. Not motivated, disciplined. And that changes everything.
At home, Ethan starts cutting back on the noise. He doesn't quit distractions overnight. He just stops letting them run his life. Less mindless scrolling, fewer late-night rabbit holes, more intentional time. He picks up a book instead of his phone. He plans his next move instead of pushing it off. He handles small tasks right away instead of letting them pile up. Nothing dramatic, just better choices made consistently. Most of these changes are almost invisible. No one's clapping, no one's posting about it. It doesn't look impressive on the outside, but it stacks. Day after day, choice after choice, those small decisions start building momentum. And over time, that momentum turns into real results, clearer focus, more confidence, and a life that finally feels like it's moving forward. That's the secret most people miss. Big results don't come from big moments. They come from small choices done over and over again, especially when no one's watching. And Ethan finally understands that. That's when Ethan learns the biggest lesson of all, one that changes how he sees everything. Your mind is either trained by you or it's controlled by your habits. There's no middle ground, no neutral zone, no coasting. If you're not intentionally shaping your thoughts, your routines will do it for you. If you're not in control, autopilot is, and autopilot always chooses comfort over growth. Ethan realizes that every habit is a vote. Every excuse, every shortcut, every disciplined choice, it's all training his mind one way or the other. There's no such thing as just this once. It all counts. And once that clicks, he stops treating discipline like a temporary phase. It's not something you try for a few weeks. It's a lifestyle, a standard. Because the truth is simple but uncomfortable. Either you run your mind or your mind runs you. And Ethan finally decides who's in charge. Discipline gives him freedom, real freedom. Freedom from excuses, freedom from second-guessing himself, freedom from that constant feeling of regret that used to follow him everywhere like a shadow. He's no longer stuck in the same mental loop, making promises he doesn't keep and paying for it later. He trusts himself now because his actions back up his words. Discipline doesn't make life easy. It doesn't remove stress, pressure, or hard days. Problems don't disappear, but it makes him stronger. Stronger than distractions, stronger than comfort, stronger than the voice that used to control him. And that strength, that's what real freedom looks like. Months later, Ethan still struggles. That part never disappears. Discipline doesn't erase difficulty. It builds the strength to handle it. Life still hits hard sometimes. Bad days still show up. Pressure still comes out of nowhere. The difference now is how he responds. He doesn't fold. He doesn't spiral. He doesn't fall apart at the first sign of resistance. He stands his ground, not because life got softer, but because he got tougher, because he trained himself for moments like this, rep by rep, choice by choice, when things were uncomfortable, when nobody was watching. Discipline didn't make him invincible, it made him resilient. And that's why when life tries to knock him down now, Ethan stays standing. He understands something most people never figure out. Discipline isn't a one-time decision you make when you're feeling inspired or fired up. It's not a mood, it's not a phase, and it definitely isn't something you switch on only when it feels easy. Discipline is a daily practice. It's showing up when you're tired, doing the work when you don't feel like it, staying consistent when motivation is nowhere to be found. Some days feel good, most don't, and that's the point. Because discipline isn't built on inspiration, it's built on repetition, on choosing the right thing over the easy thing again and again until it becomes automatic. That's what separates people who change from people who stay stuck. Not talent, not luck, but the ability to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. And Ethan finally gets that.
And if you're listening to this right now and you feel like Ethan, stuck, drained, frustrated with yourself, hear this loud and clear. Your life doesn't change when motivation finally shows up. Motivation is flaky. It comes and goes. You can't build a future on something that disappears the moment things get hard. Your life changes when discipline takes control. When you stop waiting to feel ready and start acting anyway. When you move even on low energy. When you do the work on the days you'd rather quit. That's where the shift happens. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need confidence. You don't need some magical breakthrough. Train your mind, control your actions, and your future will fall in line. Because nothing changes on the outside until something changes on the inside. If you don't take charge of your thoughts, they'll take charge of you. And they won't take you where you want to go, only where it's comfortable. Here's the truth most people avoid. If you don't discipline your mind will eventually discipline your life. It'll do it through missed chances, through regret, through staying stuck longer than you should have. But when you train your mind, when you decide to lead instead of react, you stop drifting and start building, one choice at a time. This isn't about being perfect, it's about being in control. And once you master that, everything else starts to follow. If this story hit home for you, don't just scroll past it. Show some support. Hit that like button. It helps American Dream Motivation reach more people who need this message right now, not later. If you're serious about growth, subscribe. This channel isn't about fake hype or quick dopamine. It's about real mindset stories, mental discipline, and motivation that actually leads to change, not just a temporary boost. And make sure you turn on notifications because the work doesn't stop here. Your growth doesn't happen by accident. It happens when you show up again and again. Remember this, motivation fades, discipline stays. And this is American Dream Motivation.